All right. Hey guys, I've been kind of MIA for the past few days. I got a few videos I got to catch up on, but I'm gonna try to get some of these videos out and made for you guys. So the first thing I'd focus now onto the next part of the challenge is to set up the cost of goods scoreboard, and then I'm gonna show you guys how I use and organize all of the data. I use Google Drive primarily. It's just nice tech. It's free. You can basically store receipts on there. It's easier for bookkeeping. We'll go over how to use the app as well too. You just really just take a photo of it, scan it, and then upload it. If you're familiar with QuickBooks, it's the same process, right? You take a picture of the receipt, and then you're just doing bookkeeping. Instead of paying for QuickBooks, you can just utilize Google Sheets. You wanna develop your mindset around collecting data. Execution and habit is key. So reason why we do like a weekly kind of period is that you get to have 52 iterations. And each week you want to change something. So think of it as 52 iterations to improve. The more different iterations you do, the more chances you can land a goal. So I just focus on, being better at whatever task that you were doing the previous week and focus on finding what works and finding that flow and momentum. Data. Accurate data is important. And what I mean by accurate data is, so when you get a receipt, don't procrastinate. Take a picture of it right away and then upload it. And I'll show you how to kind of create a kind of flow and a pattern. It's a bit tedious, but when you get really good at it, it's going to be second nature. The more accurate the data, you get a truer picture of what's going on in your business, and that's super important. You don't want any data that's kind of like off or you miss a few receipts. What happens is that your data is skewed and you don't actually have an accurate number of what's happening in your business. Make sure everything's accurate. Another thing is I want you to think and critically think on where the value is and with what data you're collecting. Like, why are you collecting this data? What information is it going to give you? Focus on that and you'll discover, so many things. I'm still a student with the scoreboard. There's so many aspects that I haven't fully unlocked yet, but I'll show you the things that I've discovered and I found really useful in our business. There's a lot of ways you can know the current market value of a product. You could see, what average, like how many customers do you need to make sure you break even, stuff like that. Those are important data metrics because it gives you a target, right? Once you know you have to hit this target, you're more consistent and you'll take action instead of just being limbo and then, hope for something to happen. But so I might as well get into the demo. So it's very similar to the weekly scoreboard. So all you're simply tracking, I'll just go over the names and then we'll go over in detail with the technical aspects later. So these are going to be percentages: food costs, labor, operating, and front end. So the reason why in percentages is that you want to keep them, let's say, copy and paste that. Generally, a healthy business would have 30%. Oh, that should be right there. Labor should be around 30%. I'll go over that in a bit here. And then operating should be around 20%. Why these numbers is I think this is just a very average, safe number that gives you a lot of resources to allocate. I know some businesses have like 20% food costs, maybe 15%. But you're really sacrificing a lot of value that you could potentially give for your customers. And if you're not giving the value for the customers, you're going to lose them. You're not going to get a lot of retention. Customers are going to try one time and they're not going to come back. So 30%, I know some places do 40% too, which is crazy, but I'd say 30% is a sweet spot. And again, it depends on the ingredients that you use, the type of cooking that you're serving, the food, the product. There's a lot of variables, but 30% is a good average. Labor is big too. I find that a lot of places understaff, and that can impact customer service. It can impact your staff. Staff, you put everything on one staff, they handle everything, they're going to get stressed out and they quit. You're just wasting time. You have to hire new staff. So make sure you allocate enough resources where everybody is supporting each other. That's really important. And the reason I guess I should share this is too, like, I built a system around, like, a value system, and you build your business around that value system. So the reason why I put it at 30% is because I want to make sure everybody's supported, and the 30% is a comfortable margin I can share and distribute towards everybody. And operating expenses and front end, generally 20% is healthy. Some places are lower, some places are a bit higher. Generally, I'd stay around that number. If your operating expense is like 30%, 40%, then you're not going to be making enough money to stay in business long. So you want to make sure you have at least 20% if possible. That's really healthy. Most businesses are maybe like 5 to 10% between those numbers. But we're not playing to lose here. I want you guys to focus on playing to win. Try to make sure you get enough or target enough sales to hit within these revenue or these percentage points. Now these are all the inputs here. So everything here, food cost, will be totaled up and summed up into here. Into this bar here. Oh, this is a bit off here. 1 second. There should be another selection of this too. So you should have a second copy of this for percentages only. So you'll get the total food cost summed up here. I know it looks like there's nothing there, but we'll go over that in a bit. You'll sum out the labor. So each employee, CPP, EI, you'll sum that up and you put that in one slot here. And then front end, that's going to go with operations. So you'll see that here. So you'll sum everything up here. And all these are just general categories. You can add whatever category you use. For operations, like vehicle lease, finance for equipment, I just put it in one tab. Accounting, like some software, I put it in one tab. Or actually I have my own tab on this one. Kitchen maintenance, like things break. Rent, this is a fixed cost, and you can color it differently too. And a fixed cost is usually monthly. What I do is I just basically take the total, like whatever monthly cost, times it by 12, and then divide it by 52. And then that'll give me my weekly fixed cost here. Labor, employees. Yeah, just make sure when you track it, you can use software. I like to use WagePoint, and it's pretty cheap. It does the job. Employees are happy with that. It does direct deposit. They get all their pay stubs online too. Keeps the flow very simple. As I'm going through this, there's so much stuff I realize I want to show you guys. And then over here, you don't have to be super fancy with this. You just want a general estimate of like how much produce or products you're going through each week. You can have different suppliers, Costco, whatever supplier that you have, meat. I know some people go super into detail and then know exactly how much, with what's on their items that they sell, which is great to know. But you can kind of get a general estimate. You don't have to go super. It's like kind of redundant. You don't need to have that much detail. Maybe at a higher level, yes, but we want to keep things as simple as possible. So just get all of these things on first, put it in each week, and then to sum it up, what you do is, if you have some experience, just type equal sum, bracket, and then you can actually drag it. So we're looking for operating on front end. So we're going to go over to the right. You're going to drag all the way here. Ooh, I don't know why that didn't work. It should be like this. Oh, there we go. Okay, so front end, and then there we go. Oh, it should be like that. There we go, and then enter. So now you have one, and what I do is I just click on this plus sign here, and then you can kind of let AI do its thing. I'll give you all those ranges. So the inputs, they all go right here. So make sure to keep the receipts too. Once you have the receipts, I'll show you how to store it. But this is where you'll input all the receipts. I know it's kind of tedious. You just got to put it in there. And just start with this. It'll get easier over time. I'll share with you a few tricks that I've learned over the past year. Anyways, I hope this helps. And this is a long video. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message on School or YouTube, or if you have my number, just shoot me a text. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Peace.